I'm back! And you are too. You must like me. Here we are in the same exact room. Kind of a boring room. Chair, sunflowers. That's pretty much it. Pretty much it. Pronunciation's important. Aside from the boring room, something very exciting has been happening in my household. I've discovered something. Ooh! The very first sign was this ship. Ship. Dun, dun, dun. Where'd you come from? It's actually quite a nice ship. I mean, look at that. It's got sails and everything, and it's called the Purple Martin. At first, I didn't think anything of it. I mean, ships, you know, they come out of nowhere. Then, I discovered a bongo. A very tiny bongo. And then I was thinking, who makes tiny bongos? Maybe tiny people, And that's when I found this tiny saxophone! It actually works! I also discovered a tiny electric guitar. It needs new strings very badly. I decided to do a full investigation of my house, and here are some other tiny things that I discovered. A tiny Dr. Seuss book. Some tiny scissors. A tiny jar of Nutella. A tiny jar of it. A tiny red Solo cup. Or maybe someone was just taking shots. Some bubbles. They're not really that tiny, bubbles are cool, kids. A tiny little clay pot. And a tiny toy bear. That's one thing I should tell you guys. If you're gonna be watching my channel, I am pro bear. So, if bears offend you, get out! And the last thing I found, I think is the best thing ever. This tiny little game of apples to apples. Look! It even has little tiny cards. Oh! Amazing. I'm totally gonna play with these later. With myself. So I concluded there must be a tiny little human in my house. And so I'm going to take you with me to search for more clues. Aha! Look at this. Tiny footprints. Brilliant evidence. That must mean their hands are about this big. Which must mean that Nutella jar was actually huge for them. Why don't we have that? All right, let's do some studies on these footprints. This one seems to be a female, considering the smaller gait. They both go barefoot, which is interesting. And it looks like they tracked in some snow, and at this point scuffled off the snow, and thus there are no further footprints. This one seems to be a guy because of the wider gait. Look at this, he's got 2 left feet. That means he's terrible at dancing, which the girl might find dorky and endearing. So I think it's safe to say that these guys are a couple. They have the same shoe size. I wonder if that's ever awkward for them. So I'm gonna continue this expedition and look for those tiny little people. But for now I have to go make food because there's nobody home. Cooking! Cooking really isn't my forte, yet I'm forced to do it. Slavery. Just kidding, cooking's fine. Christmas tree. Okay, well that's all for now, kitties. I'll see y'all soon, I guess. What was that word I used? Soïda? Soïda!
Pardonnez mon petit langage. Oups, là j'ai plus du 10 langage. Les médias font trop de chantage. Oh, vous m'avez pris pour un esclave. Debout, c'est l'heure du cap. Oh, faut bien limiter la casse. Le monde à elle sale. Oh, on va tous finir en cage.